Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Insights and Innovations series for this day. Today, we have one of the IMAA's fantastic partners, the great Ben Gunn, who many of you know. Ben Gunn is going to talk to you about trends happening in the influencer space, in the social media states, but the power of unlocking UGC, which is user-generated content. And not all content works on all social platforms. Ben is going to give us a masterclass on this, and he will do a better job and a more eloquent job describing that than I will. So I'll hand over to you, mate, to take over.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you, everyone, for jumping on this call today. This is going to be a pretty punchy deck, so just really want to hit it hard with you guys in terms of where I feel the market is going and what we're seeing with a lot of our client and agency conversations when it comes to unlocking the economy that is user-generated and how valuable that is for brands when done in the right way. But I'll kick off with just some, hang on, let's make sure that's working. There we go. Some headline stats to ensure you guys are sort of on the same page as what I'm talking about with the power of this creator economy. A crazy statistic for all of us on this call is 5 million Aussies actually identify as content creators. And so when you think about that number, that unlocks huge opportunities for brands and huge opportunities for consumers who follow these creators religiously as they post so frequently on all social platforms. And 19% of Australia identify as influencers. So they go beyond just being a creator behind the camera and have loyal audiences that they speak to on a daily basis for brands to also tap into. And one for all the parents on the call, just to be mindful of, is children are actually saying that, you know, when they grow up now, the most popular thing they want to be when they grow up is an influencer. So I think that just gives you a real sense of, there you go, shaking your head, Sam, but it's true, be careful. When you find out what influencers get paid, you might actually have a different perception on whether or not you want your kids to be influencers. The average influencer earns about $52,000 a year in Australia, just so you guys know, and that's from the age that they start becoming an influencer. So it can be good coin for those that are successful in the space. But how did we actually get here? I think it's good to just like step back and understand what does this creator economy look like today and where are they at? Because if you understand where they're at, there's really big opportunities for brands to tap into this space. So, you know, the launch of all of these social platforms, you know, as early back as when, you know, Facebook and Instagram were starting to take off, you know, you had these platforms, and before that you had YouTube, that were able to give a platform to creators, and you no longer had to have production companies in the middle of it. All of a sudden, you had these direct relationships that creators could have with audiences, you know, by these really powerful recommendation algorithms that would surface content based on the type of content you were showing interest in as a user. Now, as these audiences for these creators grew, so did the channel as we know it is influencer marketing, which was where these creators created really loyal audiences that were able to, you know, brands were able to tap into, collaborate with, align with, and really start integrating their messages into these very loyal audiences of these creators. And if you fast forward to today, what does it all look like? Well, some of the most successful people commercially are people who have gone beyond just being an influencer and creating content for a single platform, but diversifying their revenue streams way beyond ads, you know, looking at various different ways that they can monetize their offering through merchandise, premium content, launching products like Prime, which, anyone who has a teenage boy will know is often sold out in Woolies before it even gets stocked on the shelves. So these creators have a lot of influence over brands, also over consumers, and represent a huge opportunity for brands to tap into that market. And one of the reasons why they're so successful is it's actually how consumers want to be informed. So, there's a great report that comes out by Edelman talking about consumer preferences. And this is talking about how 81% of consumers actually prefer to see content from creators than advertisers. The whole word of mouth category has existed for ever and a day, but this is the modern day version of that, right? These platforms have unlocked this modern day word of mouth, which is incredibly powerful for brands and gives great results in terms of the attention that will be paid to that content versus a traditional advertising piece of content, and therefore the effectiveness. When you connect with consumers in the right way, you have a very powerful way of, driving that action. And this was a study that talked about it. It was actually a neuroscience study. So they connected people up to these machines and actually watched how they responded to various different types of content. But what was really clear from the study was the creativity is what drives emotion and connection with an audience. That emotion will drive memory. And if you are successful in driving it into the memory, then at the right point of time, it will actually drive action. And so what was actually studied was people watching content that was created by the creator economy versus an ad that you'd be watching on television versus social ads that you'd be watching on platforms like Facebook. And the emotional intensity that is given to creator content versus those other types of ads is phenomenal. We're talking about a 277% increase in the emotional intensity someone gives it when they see it from this creator economy, which means from a memory and coding perspective, we're seeing an 87% uplift. Same with Facebook ads, 64% emotional intensity and a memory encoding of 182%. So big numbers that, if done in the right way, you can tap into as well. We've been able to not just, look at the research, but actually bring this into real life with campaigns that we've been running as well. So this is a great example of tapping into the creator economy and the results that you can drive. We recently completed a campaign for KFC where we were tracking footfall into KFC stores off the back of this creator content. And we were able to track over a 4-week period 176,000 people going in store who had seen this content. We set up a control and exposed group as well, so we could actually measure true uplift of the likelihood of you going in store off the back of seeing this content and not. And this creator content meant that you were 76% more likely to go in store to a KFC store than not if you hadn't seen the content. That number was record breaking for the partner we used for this tracking capability. They said that's about 6 times higher than what they normally see with any other type of channel that they measure. The ROAS, we're talking like dollars for dollars here, 98 times ROAS for this campaign. So, real measurable uplift on creator content that, was making the cash register ring. So these are the types of studies that I think are just really valuable for clients who often will brief you in and, give you whatever brief they are, whatever complications they throw into the brief. At the end of the day, what they're really after is results, and that's what we can prove. But if you wanted to, I guess, peel it back and go, okay, well, what is the sort of formula for success? How do we unlock those types of results for your own brands? Well, the way to think about it is people buy from people. Like the old word of mouth technique continues to be incredibly valuable to this day. There's now just different ways in which you can unlock that word of mouth capability. And, that's exactly what this creator economy is all about, is tapping into people who understand their audience and blending that with the message that you want to get across as a brand. And when that perfect amalgamation happens, then you really do start seeing magic results. The other part is understanding that the medium is the message. And so what might work for YouTube would not be the right type of content for TikTok. And so any of your brands you're working with today that are asking you for help in terms of, hey, I know I need to be getting on this TikTok bandwagon, like this TikTok train. It's taking off. There's so much that's being consumed, et cetera, on that platform specifically. How do I create content for TikTok versus what I'm doing in Instagram or YouTube today? And the answer is it is different. It absolutely is different. And so what we unlock through our tech is the ability to tap into creators that are specific experts in any one of those channels. And so if you need to create content at scale for TikTok, we'll have TikTok specific creators that you can get into your campaigns. And the other part is, what's the right idea, or what's that hook that you want to use for to ensure that message is heard, right? And so you don't want to fall for the misconception that attention is scarce in this modern age, right? It's just people have the same amount of hours that they've always had to consume content, all right? The secret is finding creative ways to tap into that attention, and you can do that by embracing the expertise and skills of that creator or influencer to enhance or appeal your offering as a brand. And if you do that successfully, the results end up speaking for themselves. So why is it all important? Well, you guys would know there's industry reports on it all the time, but the amount of time that's now being spent on these platforms, in particular by younger generations. I was hearing something the other day that basically the way news is going to be consumed will never, they will never just go to a news site and consume it the same way we do today. Everything is being consumed through these social platforms, these full page videos that you can just flick through to get your content. That is how this generation is looking to consume all types of content, which is why we see such strong growth numbers in terms of how content's being consumed. And the research supports that when you tap into this creator-led economy, the results that you see versus if you were just doing standard ads on these platforms, and I get it, sometimes that's just the easiest way to transact and get that paid social budget, away. But if you can actually dedicate just a portion of that to working with this creator economy, you're going to see massive results. So we're talking about 82% saying that your likelihood of achieving a purchase outcome is increased. You actually reduce the cost of that purchase by tapping into the creator economy as well. And in terms of just straight increase in customer conversions, you can see a 2.4x lift in customer conversions when tapping in to the creator economy as well. And I'm not sure if you guys have heard TikTok say this, but we hear it all the time when we're speaking to them, is you don't want to make ads for the TikTok platform. You need to make TikToks, right? And these are specific pieces of content that are purpose-built for the platform. And the research out there supports this as well. So previously, that was some Instagram stats showing you about the effectiveness. You see a very similar type of story for TikTok. After 3 weeks of seeing content from creators, people are reporting that they're 72% more aligned, or the brand is more memorable for them. All right. which increases their brand favorability. And, 33% of people saying who were surveyed by in this campaign said, there were 33% of people have actually bought stuff that they've been inspired by on TikTok through creators. So, it's all real numbers that can deliver for your brands. And this is just some of the types of content we can produce, across a real wide variety of categories. So don't feel like if you're a brand that hasn't yet done something with TikTok, that you can't lean into us and we can help you guys. We've done stuff across a whole range of categories. What you can see up there is, we've done retail, we've done QSR, that content in the middle's for like HBF. So even insurance, we've done travel, we've done a whole bunch of pet stuff. Pet stuff seems to go crazy on TikTok. So whatever brand you guys have or brands that you're working with today, feel free, like you can lean into us and we can absolutely provide you guidance on how to best execute your campaigns on TikTok and generate the absolute best possible results for your clients. So in terms of how we can help you more specifically, the platform we've built allows you to very seamlessly create a brief to these talented creators who can create content and turn it around really fast for you. We've got flexible options. So if you're not an expert in this space, you can absolutely lean in to us as a managed service provider. Or if you feel like you have got the capabilities, you can just use us as a self-service solution, and that's no problems at all. Our creator network is vetted professionals. So they're all really experienced in creating content and creating content specific to the platforms that you need to create content for. On the managed service side, we've got experienced strategists and content specialists who you can choose to work with, who can provide and direct the creators and provide you any insights that you need to feed back to the client in order to, get things across the line. And importantly, we have these powerful analytics. So, ways in which, as campaigns going live, we can start directly reporting to you through the platform how effective that content is. And as soon as you start using creators to create your brand ads in these environments versus what you would have seen in the past, you'll just start spending more and more of your budget allocated to using and tapping into these services, because you'll see the dramatic difference in results. So I thought it'd be just remiss of me not to just sort of say, guys, if you want to get started in this space, we've made it really easy. We've got 5 and 10K starter packages where, for 5K, we can get you a creative concept on any of the platforms that I was talking about earlier. And we'll also create a couple of unique brand videos for you for that budget as well. For 10K, again, we can come up with the creative concept and provide you with up to 4 videos. We can turn it around within, we say up to 20 days, but depending on how difficult, how easy the brief might be, it could be even faster than that. But this will be content that's tailored specifically to the platform that you need it to be on. And so really happy to help in any way we can with this space. But we are the experts. We speak to TikTok and Meta every single week. And so we know what's trending. We know what needs to be created for these platforms to make them successful. So feel free to reach out and help your clients achieve even better results than they're probably already seeing on these types of platforms today. Very happy to take any questions that may have come up through that preso.
And sometimes there are no questions, Gunny.
Okay.
So guys, if there are no questions, we can shoot them through and connect anyone to Ben and the team later on today, or whenever you so do so. We'll also make this deck available to members. Thank you everyone for joining. Just a reminder that we have I think it's the Independence Day tomorrow by BNT. There's still, I think, a couple of tickets left for discounts for IMAA members. Reconciliation Walk, we've got 4 seats left for that through Redfern on Thursday. So if that aligns with any of your agency's agendas, then please reach out to us on that. There's a couple of notes going around. Spotify have a trivia night on Thursday night. You'll see some cancellations, but also confirmings about that. If there's any concerns around that, reach out to Diane to help resolve that. And then just a reminder for Brisbane, there's bingo, Christmas in July coming up on the 20th of July. Again, thank you so much, Gunny, for that presentation, and also for your ongoing support of the IMAA. I mean, it's businesses like Fabulate that keep us going and keep us doing good work. So we're very, very supportive and acknowledge your support to us. So thank you, appreciate it. Thank you, members. Talk to everyone soon. Have a great day and have a great week.
Thanks,